Not all physical exercise is suitable for everyone. Take into account factors such as strength, flexibility, and overall health to determine if a particular movement or pose is appropriate for you. This, like any other activity that involves physical movement, can result in personal injury. Any injury sustained from proper or improper use of the following session is solely the responsibility of the user. If in doubt, it is recommended that you consult a healthcare professional before engaging in any new physical routine. Welcome to your practice. Today, set the intention of making your mat a safe place for yourself. Practice in a way that will encourage you to come back. Stay honest to how you feel physically and mentally today, and as best you can, try to let go of any expectation. We will begin in an easy seat on your mat. You might sit cross-legged if that feels comfortable. If it doesn't, you might lengthen one leg out to the side. Or you might find other modifications, such as placing a blanket under your sit bones. Let the hands rest on the thighs. The sit bones root down into the ground, and the spine lengthen up and away from the earth. Begin to find your breath, rise and fall of the chest. Notice that lift as you breathe in and that grounding and softening as you breathe out. And from here, turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Let the tops of the hands rest on the thighs. And then bring the index finger and the thumb to touch. This is a hand mudra, a positioning of the hand. In this case, think about the index finger being the ego, that striving part of yourself that in extremes can be very insecure and anxious. And think about the thumb being the wisdom, that experience, the trust, the calmness. And as the index finger and the thumb touch, think about that thumb, that wisdom, calming down that ego. Then bringing the palms back down onto your thighs. With your next exhale, let that chin rest towards the chest. Take a full breath in and breathe into the back of the neck. As you exhale, send the right ear towards the right shoulder and breathe into the left side of the neck. And coming back through center, then bring the left ear to the left shoulder, lengthening the right side of the neck. And moving back through center and switching sides, moving with the breath. And using the breath to notice sensation. Notice where there is tightness, where there is softness. And then bringing that chin back through center. And with your next inhale, lifting that chin parallel to the ground, lengthening again through the top of the head, and inhaling to lift the arms overhead. Find here a side stretch, lowering the right hand to the mat and reaching that left arm up and over. And then switching sides, exhaling, And inhaling to rise back up. Bring the hands by your side. As you inhale, arms lift. And exhale to find a twist. So bring that right hand straight behind you, the base of the spine. And the left hand, bring it to the opposite thigh, if that feels comfortable. Most of all, you want that belly button to twist to the side wall. Use your inhale to rise through center and lengthen. And use your exhale again to twist now to the opposite side. Using that back hand as a kickstand for the spine. Reminding you to lengthen up. Using the inhale now to come back through center. And bringing those hands to the heart, palms touch, elbows spread. Notice that breath. With your next inhale, bring the hands in front of you. And we'll move into table pose. So we'll bring those wrists straight under the shoulders and those knees straight under the hips. As you breathe in, cow pose, dropping that belly. As you breathe out, cat pose, rounding the spine, dropping the head. And cow pose, drop the belly, lift through the chest. And round the spine, cat pose. Exhale. And here, find a neutral spine. Bringing that lower belly towards the spine. And feeling stable through those hands and knees. With your next inhale, send that right leg back. You might keep the toes tucked, pressing the heel away, or you might lift the leg parallel to the ground. As you exhale, lower that knee back down and switch sides, using your inhales to find that length in the leg, that stretch in the back of that leg. And your exhales to lower back down to the mat. And switching sides, right leg rises. Feel that stretch in the back of the leg. And switch. The leg is lifted, keep it active, so keep the foot flexed. Coming back through table, dropping the belly, lifting through the chest. And then rounding the spine and sending those sit bones towards the heels to find child's pose. Knowing that child's pose is a place where you can come to at any point during your practice. As you inhale, coming out into table, lifting that chest, dropping the belly. And as you exhale, downward facing dog, so tuck those toes, sending those sit bones up and back. Feel length in the spine from the tailbone to the top of the head. With your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, almost hovering above the mat. Send those sit bones up and back, and as you exhale, straighten the legs. And again, bending those knees, sit bones still lifting, and exhaling, straightening the legs. And one more time, bending those knees deeply. Still press the mat away with your hands. And exhale, straightening the legs. As you inhale, make your way to the top of the mat, walking those feet slowly towards the hands. And exhale, forward fold. Head and arms heavy as you rise up to stand, rolling vertebra upon vertebra. And sending those shoulders away from the ears, finding your mountain pose. Your next inhale, the arms rise overhead. And as you exhale, fold forward. Remember to bend the knees as you need to here. Inhale halfway. And planting your hands, stepping back, downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhaling out into plank pose. Modifying as needed too, so maybe those knees come down. And exhale, open back, downward facing dog. And inhaling again out into plank pose. Shoulders straight over wrists, belly engaged. And exhale, open back, downward facing dog. Feel how the weight transfers from the arms into the legs. Back into plank, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale, pairing breath with movement. Inhaling, walking the feet towards the hands and forward fold, exhale. Actively this time, rising up, arms wide, taking as much space as you can, and exhale, hands to your heart. Arms lift overhead, inhale, and exhale, out and down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, and planting those hands, set that stable base, downward facing dog. Inhale out into table pose, drop those knees straight under the hips, so realign as needed. And inhale, right leg lifts behind you, maybe keep the toes tucked, and the left arm rises parallel to the ground, palm facing towards the midline. Lowering down on your exhale and switching sides on your inhale. Find stability in the core of the body. Exhale, lower both hand and knee down and switch sides. Inhale. Still breathe and lower down. Exhale. Switching. Inhale. Feel stability within. And lower. Exhale. Your next inhale, drop that belly, lift through the chest. And as you exhale, tucking the toes, sit bones open back, downward facing dog. Make your way to the top of the mat, inhale. And forward fold, exhale. Actively rise up, arms wide, inhale. And hands come to the heart, exhale. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale out into plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Stay breathing. Inhale, plank pose. Downward facing dog, exhale. Keep that connection with the mat underneath you with those hands. Inhale again, out into plank. And downward facing dog, exhale. Full breath. With your next exhale, you might choose to step or to hop the feet towards the hands. Inhale halfway and exhale, fold. Actively rising up, inhale, and exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, the right foot steps back. Find warrior one, lowering that back heel and bringing hands to your heart, bending into that front knee. Remember never to let that front knee come beyond the ankle. Your next inhale, arms rise. And exhale, bring those hands behind you. Find an interlace. Take a full breath in as the knuckles reach down that back leg. And as you breathe out, begin to reach the chest forward and then down towards the thigh. Keep pressing through the back foot. Stay stable and grounded. Gently coming out with your next inhale, releasing the arms, warrior one. And as you exhale, lower the hands to the mat, frame the front foot, and step back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And stepping or hopping, making your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. And fold forward, exhale. Arms wide all the way up to stand. Inhale. Hands to the heart. Exhale. arms lift, inhale. And the left foot will step back, warrior one. Exhale, taking your time to set that base, that stability. Bringing that lower belly opened in, lengthening through the crown of the head as you inhale, the arms rise. And as you exhale, bring the hands behind you, and this time find an awkward interlace. Send those knuckles down, reach the chest up and forward as you exhale. Sending the gaze down towards the mat, keeping a long neck. Your next inhale, rooting through those feet and rising up. Keep pressing through the back foot, warrior one. And exhale, hands to the mat, framing that front foot and stepping back into your downward facing dog. Breathing in. And exhale, finding child's pose. Your choice, knees might be wide, big toes touching, or knees might be together, and you might place a blanket between the heels and the sit bones. Allowing yourself to pause. And knowing that even in these pauses, the breath is intentional. The breath is continuous. And noticing if pausing is easy or is difficult for you today. Nothing to change, just noticing. And very slowly rising back up, coming onto your knees. So again, here any blanket that might be needed for the knees to be more comfortable. And we're going to find a kneeling plank pose. So imagine you being a plank from the crown of the head to the knees. As you breathe in, you lengthen up, and as you breathe out, you lower back behind you. Keeping that body stiff, keeping the belly engaged, using your inhales to rise back up and your exhales to lower behind. Keep those shoulders moving away from the ears and keep that chin slightly tucked. The next time you lower down, stay. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And as you inhale, rise up, sitting down on those heels. If it's comfortable, you might keep the toes tucked, or you might plant the tops of the feet on the mat. Bring the hands to the thighs and just notice. Again, pausing here. As you inhale, come back to stand on your knees and moving again through that kneeling plank pose sequence. Breathing in for length. And as you breathe out, lower down. You might lift the arms for maybe an extra challenge. Using your inhales to come back through center and lowering down behind you on an exhale. The next time, stay, taking a full breath in and a full breath out. And inhaling, coming right back through center. And again, lowering those sit bones towards the heels. Hands to the thighs, palms face down. And maybe close your eyes here. If sitting on your heels is not comfortable, untuck the toes. And if you're still not comfortable, feel free to come into a cross-legged seat. Your next inhale will make our way into a seat. So you might bring those feet to the side. You might Get those feet to come through the arms. Plant the feet on the mat, bending the knees. With your next breath in, we'll find boat pose. Make sure that those sit bones are rooting down. Make sure that the chest is moving towards the thighs. You might keep the toes on the mat and the hands by your side. You might lift one leg and then the other. You might keep both legs lifted and the hands lifting towards the ceiling. Wherever you are, if you are not breathing, then this practice is not going to serve you as well as it will do if you are breathing fully, staying present, whether it's with joy or ease or struggle, and modifying when you need to and as you need to. Lowering those feet down, and this time bringing the soles of the feet together into bound angle pose. Let those knees splay out to the sides. You might support the knees with your hands. From here, make sure that the sit bones are rooting down and the spine is lengthening up. Where is your breath? With your next inhale, bringing those knees back in towards one another, planting the feet on the mat, and finding your variation of boat pose. Can you find a boat pose that keeps you engaged, but allows you to breathe and be present? And use your next exhale to lower back down to the mat, bringing the left leg long in front of you and bringing the right heel towards the left inner thigh. Your next inhale, arms will rise towards the ceiling, lengthening the spine. And as you exhale, imagine that chest reaching towards the left toes. Head to knee, forward fold. Keep that leg engaged by flexing the foot and keep reaching that heart beyond the toes. Think about lengthening forward rather than lowering down. With your next inhale, rise up. And as you exhale, find a seated twist variation. So lower that right hand straight behind you and bring that left hand to the opposite thigh. As you breathe in, think length of the spine. And as you breathe out, think of that belly button turning towards the side. Coming back through center on an inhale and switching sides, lengthening that right leg, flexing the foot. And then bringing that left heel in towards the inner thigh. Using your inhales to lengthen up and then your exhales to reach towards the toes. Avoid rounding the spine. So at any point, lower the hands to the mat. Keep reaching the chest forward. Your next inhale, rise up through center and find that twist variation, lowering the hand behind you, using it as a kickstand for the spine, and bringing the opposite hand to the thigh, turning that belly button towards the side wall. Using your inhales to rise back through center. And then bring both feet to the mat, knees bent. Bring the arms straight in front of you. With control, with your next exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. I'm preparing for a bridge pose here. So make sure that that back body is connected to the mat beneath. Bring those heels towards the sit bones and those feet hip width apart. Inhale, press into the feet and gently rise. Use your exhales to also gently lower that back body down. And your inhales will lift and your exhales will lower. Your next inhale, the arms lift overhead, reaching those fingers away from the feet as you lengthen the legs on the mat. As you exhale, just find softness. As you breathe in, reach the fingers away from the toes. Feel every muscle in the body engage, contract, activate. And as you exhale, just let every muscle in the body relax, soften, and get heavier and heavier. And then from here, slowly make your way into Shavasana. You might lengthen those legs out, arms by your side. You might keep knees bent, let those knees rest against one another. Softening here the face, the jaw, the muscles around the eyes. Coming down through the throat, softening the throat. Relaxing those shoulders, letting them drop towards the mat. Letting that breath be whatever it is now. So as best you can, letting go of controlling the breath. Letting go of controlling any part of your body. If you can, let go of controlling thoughts. Let go of stories, inner dialogues. And for a few minutes, maybe experience this pause. Pause not only for the physical body, but also for the mind. And here noticing is if as you hear my voice, there are any thoughts moving in and out. Or noticing if you got caught up in thinking. And you might just label it as thinking and then come back to your breath. And begin to find some gentle movement in the body. And as the body comes back, let that body roll onto one side. Pausing here with a full breath in and a full breath out. And as gently as you can, rising up to meet in a cross-legged seat at the top of your mat. Bringing hands to your heart Thank yourself for your practice today.